So on this question, it says, suppose that an online poll in Santa Barbara asked if polo is their favorite sport, and that 75% of those who responded said yes. Does that mean that polo is the favorite sport of the, this language is kind of messed up, 75% of people in Santa Barbara? All right. What are we thinking on this one?
No.
I put no, because it's only 75% that responded yes, right?
You're right. It is a no. The problem especially is that it's an online poll. Let's talk about this for a minute. There's a problem with online polls, and this is really important because these are put forward all the time. You'll see it in the news, you'll see it on talk show hosts, and you'll see it online. You'll see an online poll or a call in, like call in this radio station or call in this talk show or go to this online site and tell us your opinion on some kind of issue. Well, that's problematic. These are not scientific. They're not trustworthy. Why not? I don't want to just leave it there. I want to give you the reason why not. They're not scientific because many people who have an opinion, like about polo or some political issue or whatever, who have an opinion, will not take the time to go online to go online or call in, to call in the radio station or call in the talk show or whatever, right? So there's a lot of people who have an opinion who will not take the time to go online or call in. Okay, so what? Well, that means you're only the people with very strong feelings about the issue, whatever that issue is. Only people with very strong feelings about the issue will go online or call in. So you are only, doing, let me start a new sentence here. So doing online or call in surveys does not really get everyone's opinion. It just gets the opinions of the highly interested people. Does that make sense? So no, let me put it this way. Instead, if you really want to get to the truth, instead, to get the general, if you really want the truth, the general opinion of everyone. And I say it that way because I think a lot of times these talk shows, they don't really want the truth. They just want to make it seem a certain way. But if you really want the truth, you want to be scientific about it, you really want to get to the truth, to get the general opinion of everyone, survey in person or on the phone. Well, let me just say in person. Survey in person. So that's what actual pollsters do. People who really want to get to the truth. They'll go out on the street if they want to know, like, what is California's opinion on the upcoming recall election? Well, they'll send actual people out to the streets, and they'll come up to you and they'll say, "Hey, do you have a second? I want to ask you a question, and what's your opinion on the recall? How are you going to vote?" And so that way they're getting everybody's opinion, right? If somebody came up to me on the street and asked me to do that, I'd probably give them a minute and tell them my opinion. But I'm not going to do an online poll. I just don't care that much. And I think that's probably how most of you feel, right? You see the deal? If I saw an online poll, what's your favorite sport in Fresno? If I saw some online poll, what's your favorite sport in Fresno? Honestly, I would not bother to click and put in tennis. Tennis is my favorite sport, but I don't care that much. I like a lot of sports. And really, sports isn't the most important thing in the world to me. I like it, but there's other things I like too. So I wouldn't bother to take the time to answer an online poll. But yeah, if somebody came up to me on the street and said, hey, we're doing a survey about sports in Fresno, and the city council is trying to decide whether to build new stadiums for soccer, baseball, football, whatever. What's your opinion? What's your favorite sport? I would give them 30 seconds if they were face to face with me. I wouldn't, walk away. So that's the deal. These online or call-in surveys, they're not really getting to the truth, because most people like me, and probably like you, who have an opinion, I'm not super interested. I'm not going to go online or call in. I'm not going to ever bother to call into some radio show or talk show to give them my opinion. I just don't care that much. I have other things to do with my time. And that's how most people are. So when they do that and they say, oh, we found 75% of the people like polo best, you can just laugh at that. That's just baloney. That doesn't really mean that 75% of the city of Santa Barbara likes polo best. That just means 75% of the diehards, 75% of the people that are highly interested bothered to call in, right? That's not 75% of the regular people. You're not getting to the truth of how the city really feels. So that's an important and common mistake. You see it all the time in our society. Online polls are not scientific. Call-in polls are not scientific. How do you do polls scientifically? In person. Survey in person. They can call you. Sometimes the surveyors will call an individual's house and say, hey, do you have a minute? Can I ask your opinion? That's okay. Or even better is face-to-face on the street. That's way better. And so there's a word we use for this. It's called, I'm forgetting the word now. What is it called? I always forget that word. It's called, looking through my notes as we speak, because I always forget this stinking word. What is the word? It's where they leave out, basically it's summary of what I just said with some nice words that I can never ever remember. Getting old, can't remember these words. It's just these certain words. It's I can't even find my notes now. So I don't know. It's some kind of words. It's not very helpful. Sorry, not being a very helpful teacher right now. It's what's it called? You leave it out. It's they refuse to respond. It's a bias. It's something bias. It's I'll have to remember it later. Let's leave it at that. So it biases the results. You get false results. It biases the results because you leave out a lot of people. So there we go. I'll leave it at that without coming up with the word.